Inside the Mind of an Entrepreneur with our very own Dwayne Martin.
What's up, you guys? You're watching Inside the Mind of an Entrepreneur. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about to give up. And basically, what I'm going to do is look at the definition of to give up. So now, to give up, it means to cease making effort or resign oneself to failure. Now, to resign one to failure, we spoke before on failure and what it means. And we also spoke about how I interpret failure. Now, failure could be looked at as both positive and negative. I always look at failure on a positive end. So whether positive or negative, to cease failure, that is, to resign from failure, that is basically, just as you guys know, to resign, it's to I guess you could say completely stop. And, so that means when you fail, you're giving into failure and you're giving up. So that's the reason for the definition on that. To give up can mean several different things. I always tell you guys there's two sides, where there's an internal and there's an external. You can give up on yourself. When people have to understand too, when you give up on certain things, when you give up on something that is related to you, that's basically an internal way of, I would say, of giving up. And when you give up on something that is outside of you, it always ends up becoming within you. So whether it's internal or external, it always comes down to the internal. And then that is what basically destroys the self-esteem, the confidence. So to give up can destroy all the building blocks of you as a person. What you have what you went through, like as much as you've tried to build yourself up and the strength that you've used to build yourself up, to give up is going to actually be what destroys that. So now, to me, and I'm going to give an example of to give up within myself. I'm going to use within myself. I'm actually going to use an external force, and then how it leads back to internal. Now, for the past couple weeks, it's doing the podcast has been hard for me because I do other things really that I and anything that we do in life, we have to prioritize. And that's one thing that I do realize, and it's becoming more apparent to me. So, for example, those of you that know me know that I also have a business where I have a gym. And now the gym basically was, basically certain businesses sometimes could run themselves. And with the gym, that's basically what was going on there. I was able to, cruise a little bit, especially since for the 3 years I put all of me into the business. And at the same time, I also listen to motivational speeches to help keep me in that mindset to not give up. It's easy to give up. Anybody can give up. It doesn't take anything to give up. to keep going is really what it takes a lot of energy out of you. It takes a lot of strength. It's something that it's extremely hard, and you have to be positive. So, as I said, so I went on cruise control for a while, but then I noticed things started picking up, at the gym, and I have to be up to date with things. And I not only do I have to be up to date with things, I when things pick up, I have to pick up. So therefore, that's what I've been doing. So that's an external force. It's me trying to. I won't necessarily say trying because trying's not the like it's really not the best word to say. It's me doing my best. So I'm doing my best, and I have all these obstacles, like they show in those little memes, all those different obstacles that are affecting me. But I stay in that mindset. I stay doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, when you have all those different obstacles, it hits you internally, and then it makes you feel like you want to give up, because it doesn't. It's not one thing. When something starts going wrong, it starts to snowball, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the load gets heavier, and it's not something that you could necessarily just it's something that you have to handle. You can't really avoid it. When it comes to any obstacles, I don't run away from the obstacles, because at the end of the day, like I said, it snowballs, and it's gonna hit me. So if it's gonna hit me, I'd rather hit me head on, and I handle it right there and then. Therefore, as I said, external forces for me, that's how it affected me, because then after that, once it hit me, I mean, I'm tired, and none of these things are excuses. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're only human, you're only this, you're only that," but it I get it, but it's still no excuse. I mean, I still have to do what I'm doing to really get the things accomplished and done that I want to do. So I had to put the gym basically on the on the pedestal, and therefore, so I've been not doing my, as the military says, the PCCs and PCIs when it comes to the podcast. Therefore, things were kind of just spiraling down for me, and affecting me, affecting the podcast in a negative way, and it kind of not only affected the podcast, it affected, like I said, it affected me, and then you start questioning, and then just all these negative thoughts will start coming to your head. But that's when I take a step back, because I've been down this road with so many different things. So I'm, it's nothing new to me, and I just handle it how it needs to be handled. Now, I wanna that's for me, and how I feel it has it has been with the word to give up. I mean, I haven't given up, and I'm not going to give up. Give up is something, I look at everything on two sides, where it can be a positive or it could be a negative. Now, with give up, I look at that as more of a positive. I look at everything. I try to look at everything as a positive, even if it's something that is completely viewed as negative. Now, to me, I look at it as, all right, give up. Like, all right, Dwayne, you can give up. You can give up. I give myself that opportunity, that chance to, but I know I'm not ever going to take it, because the people who do take it are the ones that don't make it, you know, to where they want to be. And I realize that, I see that, and I make sure I make whatever adjustments, changes, mindset adjustment change to not take that opportunity to give up. Now, I do want to say for the people who are going through a lot, um, like I said to you guys before, it's easy to give up. You have to really think of. I think everything boils down to positive and negative. I don't care what the topic is, the problem is, the situation is. You always have to analyze the situation, really think about it, and look at the positives and look at the negatives. I say this all the time. I believe we were taught a lot when we were young. You know, in the youth, they showed us those two circles, put them together, so you have the comparison and the compare and contrast. So just look at it as that. When you got those two circles together, you know, you got the positive, you got the negative, and then it's just basically you have to look at both sides, and with me, I really feel it's the things that we're taught as a kid, those things are really powerful, and that are the things that we need to use in life. A lot of times we feel the things that we learn when we're young, it's just, to be nice. They tell us these certain things so we can just, be a good boy, good girl, whatever. But a lot of these things are powerful and they will help you through life. They'll help you through anything. It's people have to really, they got to really think. My whole thing is you have to really get to know yourself no matter what. That's why I always tell people sit down, get to know you. When you get to know you, all these things like giving up, failure, all those things, it just it doesn't become such a big problem for you. It doesn't, because give up, failure, nothing like that. That's not in my vocab. Like it's not in my vocabulary. That's not something that I even consider. If I do even hear that word, I look at it as a challenge. So if someone's like, "Oh, why don't you give up?" To me, it's just a challenge. It's to be like, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show myself. But mostly, I don't even need to show myself. I don't even need to prove it to myself because I know at the end of the day, I'll never fail. I'll never give up. So it's really not to prove to me. It's fun for me. So it's like, all right, that person said I'm going to give up. I'm going to fail. This and that. All right, that just gave me motivation to, not only succeed, but do it looking good. Do it with a smile. I mean, this is as an entrepreneur, at least for me, like I said, inside the mind of an entrepreneur, inside my mind, those negative things are what fuel me. And I do want people to understand that. So I've learned throughout my lifetime and, seeing the things that people go through and the situations that they're put through. I feel anybody can get out of a situation as long as they don't give up. You just have to have the willpower, the strength to get yourself out of it. My deployment is really what I would honestly say taught me and gave me the strength and showed me the way to actually have the willpower to no longer have those outside influences affect me. Because like I said, when I came home, then everything just crashed. When everything crashed, that was a positive thing for me because that was when I wanted to give up. When things went downhill, that's when everybody wants to give up. That's the go-to. When things go downhill, just give up. Or just take it down a notch. You know what I mean? Try to relax. Like it when things go wrong, that's when you're supposed to keep going. That's when you're supposed to push through. It's not, you know, step back, chill out, relax. You can take a step back, analyze the situation, and then go. But don't take a step back, analyze the situation, and then just be like, all right, I can't. because then that's another word that you really shouldn't use is I can't. You know, so I really want people to think too with this, not giving up. Look at look at any situation or any problem that you have in your life, especially if you're going through it right now. You can take two routes. You can give up or you cannot give up. Now, I mean, if we really think about it, not giving up, it's only going to make you stronger. I mean, you're going to go through a lot, but those battle scars, all those wounds, everything, it heals. You know what I mean? No matter what, I don't care what anybody says, it heals. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, you're gonna remember it, but that's not a bad thing. People have to understand, stop looking at everything as a negative. Like when somebody says something, like they're like, oh, uh, you know, let's see, like I said with the podcast. So if somebody said like, oh, the computer broke, man, don't even worry about it. Just give up. Just forget about it. No, it's not the computer. Like, look at that as a positive, and that's what I did with the whole situation with me. I look at it whereas the computer wasn't working. All right, first of all, I looked at it. That's my fault because I knew that was gonna happen. I'm not stupid. I know my computer. I had it overseas with me. I had it before I went overseas. It's been over a decade now. That computer's gonna break sometime. So then I took the blame for that. I mean, I believe in always taking the blame. Now I handled the situation. I made sure, and I had another computer. Just switch the computers out. Well, before I switched the computers out, I didn't even know it really was the computer was messing up. So I tried again. Failed there. Switched the computer out. And just kept things moving, kept things rolling. I didn't get to meet my time. I didn't get to meet my day, my time. I didn't get to meet anything like that. But I still got it done. It's all about not giving up. And it takes a lot of strength and, like I said, a lot of willpower to just push through, not give up, and do what you got to do. I'm always gonna do that, and you'll never see me give up. I'll take, like I said, with this whole situation, I have to prioritize. So I may not I may not be progressing as, I guess you could say, as quickly as I would like to, but I'm still going to be progressing. You know what I mean? I'm still going to be making moves. I'm still going to be doing something that's going to help me get one step ahead. And I think everybody should do that. Like I said, give up is just a challenge word. Look at your situation, your problem you're in. Use that word, give up. Challenge yourself with the positive and negatives. Put that little compare and comparison, and then handle the situation. You know what I mean? Like I said, give up is just a challenge. It's nothing that's gonna, you know, it's not gonna, it's really not gonna destroy you as long as you are mentally ready for it. That's what I always tell people, like I said, to get to know yourself. Because if you don't get to know yourself, if you don't build yourself up, mentally, physically is great. Don't get me wrong, but mentally is most important because there's no way you're going to be able to handle really life situations if your mindset, your mental isn't there, and if you don't understand yourself. You know what I mean? You really have to understand yourself. There's a lot of people that walk around, they don't they don't love themselves, they don't understand themselves, they're just confused. They're like lost souls. There's too many of that going on. We all have a purpose. Know yourself, know your purpose. And then after that, once you have your purpose, everything just comes together. It's not, life is not as hard as people make it out to be. It is hard, but life is great. It's challenging. And I mean, like I always say, for all I know, you only get one. So why not make the best of it? So that's it for today. I want to thank you guys for listening. I know it wasn't exactly at the time that I wanted it to be. But like I said, I didn't give up, kept going, and I expect you all to do the same thing. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next week, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed what it's like to be inside the mind of an entrepreneur. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Inside the Mind of an Entrepreneur.